My name is Anna. I work with Sellvia, and I want you to introduce yourself. Just tell me your story about your business. How did it all begin?
Well, I'm Christina. I'm the owner of Karache Cosmetics. I first began my business a couple of years ago. I was in college. I was actually finishing up college my last semester. I was ready to graduate. I was actually doing an internship previously, and then I had met a YouTuber, one of my favorite YouTubers. She was looking for a social media assistant, and so I applied for it. It was like a remote job, and I was actually making more money with her than I was like going to my internship. And so I ended up quitting my internship. And during this time, I was on YouTube and I saw a video that really inspired me because it was this high schooler and she had her own like lip gloss cosmetic line. And I was really intrigued. And so I just thought, like, hey, you know what? Um, let me just go ahead and give this a shot because I this could be my answer to like not working for the upcoming semester and really just focusing on graduation and things like that. So I started to start the business, get everything together before launch. And so I had ended up leaving my internship a week before I launched my business. And the day that I launched my business, the YouTuber actually fired me. Not, I didn't do anything wrong. It was just like she was going through like some financial problems and like she was not going to be able to afford paying me anymore. And so now I'm like completely out of any type of job. I just started this cosmetic business and I'm just kind of like praying at this point because I remember just thinking like, no, I think I'll be okay. Like I'll just make sure that I make enough money every month to just like pay like my car bill or just like little bills and stuff like that. So launched the business. The first month I made more money than I could like have thought of. And so within the next couple of months, I was thinking of ways on how to expand it outside of people that just knew me. And so I looked over to Instagram and I just started doing a lot of trendy videos that were very popular at the time. And I kind of put my own twist on it. And I think that's why it gained like a lot of attention. And so a lot of my videos, they would go viral. And that is where basically I believe 4 to 5 months later after starting the business, that's when it really blew up. And I was graduated at this time. And so I was without a job and I just moved into another state. And I was having to pay rent at this point because I was not in college anymore. And I was very devastated because I was trying to apply to these jobs. Did a couple interviews and no one would hire me. And so that was the month that I was like, all right, well, let me just go ahead and kind of like just continue on with this business because I was going to close it down. And that was a month that I made more than what I would have made at the jobs that I was applying to. So I just continued to work at it and it just kind of blossomed from there.
Well, that's really inspiring, and actually, I admire women in business. I think that more women should go into this and earn their fortune
Yeah.
and become independent, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where did you get these products?
So actually, from the YouTube videos that I found, people actually made them. So you would just get the materials. It's kind of like a lot of people, they make like soaps now. And so what they'll do is that they will go on to like supplier websites and purchase all of the ingredients and then make it at home. And so that's what I did. And now I have like an actual production. So I thank God I don't have to make them anymore. But it was at a time where I was like hand mixing every single batch of like lip gloss. And so, yeah.
Do you want to expand your assortment?
In the beginning, it was retail based. So I was selling individual like lip glosses. And then I noticed that a lot of places were doing wholesale. And so I took a shot at wholesale, and that is what really blew up my business was wholesale. I have introduced private label, and I think it's more of like evolving into what the demand is. Previously, it was so many people wanted to start their own lip gloss business. So I was like, okay, well, let me supply you with like these neutral, very trendy shades and have them pre-made so you don't have to make them, right? So I'm like solving that problem. And now what I have noticed is that a lot of people want something that is already made and also has like their custom packaging, also has like their logo on it. And so that is why I introduced private label for those that are really wanting to have, because before what we would do is we would make stickers and have her name on the stickers and then like place them on every single tube. And so I noticed that a lot of people are now wanting to just kind of have it already done for them. And so that is currently where I'm at right now. And it has been working very well so far.
Yeah, I know that you also have a blog, right? Where you teach others how to launch their own business with your products.
Yes. So one of the things that I had noticed was that I would always get a ton of DMs of like, hey, can you help me with business advice? Hey, where can I do this? Or how can I learn about this? And it kind of came to me, well, it's going to be more than just a couple sentences through Instagram DM. Like there's just a lot more to that. And so I thought of having a blog where people can, pay a small fee. It's not like $1,000 course or anything like that, where we can all kind of collectively come together. And, I host webinars about like certain updates. Like this month, I'm talking about like Instagram updates and how to actually grow in 2022 because they have made so many different changes. And you can DM me on there. You can directly message me on there. And I personally help every single person that messages me just because it's a little bit easier for me to have this confined space that's dedicated for me to personally like message you back, because there's just so much going on Instagram and, comments on YouTube and stuff like that, where I can't just go in and answer all of those. And then I write tons and tons of articles every month suited to what my audience needs. And so if they're like, hey, I want to learn about a certain YouTube channel, it's like, okay, I have a section for that. Or I want to learn more about business taxes. Okay, I have a section for that. So it's just a lot easier for me to help others understand how business works, and also create a collective community and not be so lonely, because entrepreneurship is so lonely. And I would have wished that I had something like this when I first started, because there would be like the smallest questions that I would have, and I'm like, who do I even ask this to? And so that's why I created Build a Brand, because you can literally post on the boards, or you can message me, or, I've had so many people that have done giveaways with each other and that support each other's businesses on there. And it's really just amazing to have that community.
Yeah, I know your feeling. I want to ask a bit more about your daily routine, and maybe some tips that you can give other people so they won't have a fear to start their business.
Yeah, definitely. So my daily routine is basically I handle 3 different things. I handle my business work, and then I also handle YouTube, and then I also handle my blog. And so it varies day to day. I always try to have days on which I work on certain things. Like for example, like Tuesdays, I will ship out items just because I don't like to ship out on Mondays. So 2 days is like a day that like I ship out my products. I work on a lot of like TikToks. Like right now, I'm focused on growing my TikTok pages. So I'll create TikToks on that day. Wednesday, I will like dedicate that entire day to YouTube, to either editing a video or filming a video. Thursday, same thing, YouTube. Friday, business, get out some orders, basically a catch-up day. And so my advice would be, because I know that a lot of people, 9 times out of 10, they're not just working on their business. They have a lot of other things going on. And so mostly I would just organize days and label days on what you're doing for that specific day. So if you're working a 9 to 5 from Monday through Friday, after work on Tuesdays, that's when you set aside maybe a couple hours to work on creating a strategy for social media, or that's like your day that you do a lot of like social media researching strategy. And then on Wednesday, you take a couple hours, and that's when you film for your things for social media and things like that. So I would just, I think my biggest thing was that I had a lot of limitations, and I think when you realize that the time is for you, like you can also do it too. Like why not? Why couldn't it be you? And I think that's what holds us back, is that we don't believe that things like this can happen to us. And it can, like it really can. And all you have to do is just try, and just like life's too short. Honestly, like life is way too short, and it's okay to, if you try and you fail, that's fine, because that just wasn't meant for you. Like that process wasn't meant for you, but you learned something from it. And so every situation, every business that fails, quote unquote, you learn something from it. And what you do is you take from that, from what you learned, and then you apply it to your next move. And it's okay. Like there's like a lot of, like not a lot of people go into life having one career or one like path. And so I think it's okay to like let go of things that don't suit you anymore, so that you can move forward onto things that like really excite you and like bring you happiness.
That's great. Thank you for this advice. I also believe that you just should start. And
just literally start, because there is never going to be a perfect time. There's never going to be a perfect business. There's never going to be perfect anything. And if you try to chase perfection, you're just going to go in circles. So like you're never going to just start, and everyone has started from zero. Everyone has started. Like I was very scared to start my YouTube channel because I was starting from zero. Like I was like, I don't want to start from zero, but everyone starts from zero. And it's just, you just have to start no matter what stage you are in your business. I literally started from the day that I saw that video on YouTube to the day I actually purchased the materials for it. It was 3 days. And so from that, I wasn't even going to do any like logos. I wasn't going to do anything fancy. I was just literally going to put lip gloss and into a tube and just sell it as that. And when I started kind of telling everyone about it, I started to gain a lot of attention for it. And I'm like, I need to put like a logo on it. I need to come up with like a business name. I need to make this like packaging and make it a little bit better. And so even though my packaging was kind of like on a whim, it was still like, at least I started, and it has blossomed into what it is today. And so if you just start and you don't think too much about it, it's okay, because you'll grow from there.
Why did you name your brand like this? Like, does it have some meaning?
So Karache Cosmetics. So Karache comes from, I actually wanted to name my daughter that.
Oh,
And so I don't have any kids right now, but I really liked the name. And I also liked that it was like a KK, like how I can make like Karache with like the cosmetics. And so I kind of liked that idea as well. So it kind of just worked out.
and do you have a team, or it just seemed a little bit exhausting?
Yeah, I'm always exhausted. No, I don't have a team. Everyone thinks I probably have like this huge production behind me, but I don't. I think I think getting like a production manufacturer to do the products for me really helps like release a lot of like stress on my end because I'm not here physically having to do them. I kind of get the benefit of like getting a product sent to me and then like just shipping it out. But when previously it wasn't like that, it was like, okay, I have this product. Okay, now I have to make like 58-ounce jars of lip gloss. This is going to be fun, you know? And so, yeah, so I think that really helps take that stress away. But I think just being able to balance YouTube and then it takes me just a couple days to write all of the articles and everything like that for my blog. And so it's a lot, but I think I've been able to organize it in a way that works for me.
Okay, I hope that you have time for sleep.
Yes, yes.
What are the biggest business challenges for you?
I think the biggest business challenges were to how do I continue to keep this consistent? I built my business and I'm very proud of it because I know it's so hard. I built it on organic traffic. And that means that basically I would post around 2 to 3 times every day on Instagram because Instagram is where I get all of my traffic from. And I would post stories every single day for basically a whole year and a half. And I got so exhausted because not only am I having to create this content and edit it, but make sure that I'm posting that many times every single day on top of everything else that I'm trying to do. And I know a lot of people are probably like, hey, you should have just did like a schedule app. And I'm like, well, most of the times those were videos or carousels and you can't schedule those out. And a lot of the times I didn't have the time to sit here and actually come up with captions and like schedule them. Like I actually just did it. I had to I only had like that small, like maybe 15 minutes out of the day where it's like, okay, I'm going to post now. Okay, let me just come out with a caption and go ahead and post it. So I think that was like the biggest challenge for me because once YouTube started really taking off and I was doing a lot of partnerships and I was dedicating myself to putting out so many videos on YouTube, it like my business kind of like was in the back burner for a little bit because I was not posting as much. And I think that was a really big challenge was like, okay, how do I keep up the momentum of my business and also my YouTube and my blog and all these other responsibilities, plus trying to keep sane with like a social life and like just my personal life in general. So I think that was like my biggest challenge with like overall business is that I relied so much on organic traffic and organic marketing that I think it's great to have that skill, but also to look for other opportunities that doesn't take so much of your time.
Well, probably you need some video makers in your team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some students, you can give a chance to a student.
Yeah. I have tried to hire people and they either want like thousands and thousands of dollars for things that like I don't want, like social media managers, where they're like, okay, I'll do 12 posts a month. I'm like, no, I need like 3 posts a
I'm
day.
sure. Yeah.
And at that point they want like thousands of dollars. And so I'm like, okay, well, even the people that I try to hire, they want me more of like, they want to learn from me rather than just like actually just do the job. And I need someone that just needs a job. And so yeah, like I've tried to hire and people have been really sneaky. Like there's people that I have they've sent in resumes and I would go on and look on their page and they're using my photos. So they're stealing my photos and I'm like, I don't think it's best for us to work together, you know? And so, yeah, I've definitely tried, but it's hard to just trust people in this industry.
Well, maybe if we have this part of the video published, you'll get some new resumes.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe you'll pick someone.
Yeah.
I just believe that you should work on your strategy, on bigger problems or tasks, rather than concentrating on some small tasks, just more exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a small advice from me, because I also have an assistant and she helps me a lot.
Yeah.
So I believe that you have more time.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, yeah, at least. What, in your opinion, does it take to become a successful business owner? Just your opinion and from your experience.
I think what it takes to be successful is to just focus on like what you want to do. And just not really engulf yourself in a lot of like noise, because it's going to be a very lonely journey. Like I would be up till 3-4 in the morning doing work, researching, not going out, not talking to friends a lot, just really focusing on how do I get this for myself. And I think, you know, that's any other person that has like some type of business is going to tell you that, because you're just so focused on like, okay, I want this to work out. Like, how can I do this? And you can't do that without hours and hours of research and, you know, time focusing on building your business. And I also think that a lot of people are like, hey, I tried everything. It's like, you didn't try everything. There's so many, I think us having such a closed mind on a way on how like something works out. So for example, a lot of people are like, oh, I just need to like post videos on TikTok for my business to blow up. And it's like, well, what about stepping back and going to like your local farmers market or going to small businesses within your city and like handing out your business cards, or just, there's a lot of different things that not a lot of people think of when they say that they tried everything and their business failed, you know? So that is just something that comes to mind. And it's just like a pet peeve of mine when people say, I tried everything, like help me. And it's like, you didn't try everything though, because a successful business owner will figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah, I believe so. So, what do you think about Sellvia now? Like, did you go through this website?
Yeah, so I actually signed up for a store. I canceled it because I was like, wait, I need to have this meeting first and learn more about it. But I thought it was such an innovative idea because it was just so easy. Like it was not this easy before. And I think having this type of opportunity for someone to have such a nice, neat store and like reviews and like a product is like, it was just so nicely and like well done for something that, you know, you do in a day. I really do think that this is something that people of my audience would be interested in. And I would say is that I just am curious how you get people to purchase without doing the social media packages or like the paid packages.
It depends on your time, your budget, your experience, your patience, and so on. Actually, besides building a fully functional online store, which already is created to convert visitors into buyers, Sellvia offers tons of educational materials so that people could learn how to get their first order as soon as possible. We offer them free of charge. We've got our e-commerce marketing academy full of video lessons on the strategies and tricks that work. And what's even cooler, we offer additional services like brand development service to create your own unique brand and product line or social media packages to promote and upgrade your current store to the fullest. I mean, not everyone needs it and they just get orders without additional upgrades, but if they want more, we can give it to them.
So how long does it usually take for people to like start a store?
Honestly, we've been into e-commerce for so long and we have our whole team of experts to build stores. So it usually takes only one business day to build a store. Then, if the client wants to do any upgrades with additional services like social media packages or promo tools bundle or SEO, the delivery time will be from 1 to 8 business days, depending on the packaging and how complicated the service is. So no worries, everything's done very quickly.
Okay. So is there a package where is their package, I know there's several different ones. I just can't think of like the one for ads. Is it them just creating the ads? That's not them running the ads, correct?
Yeah, no, we are not running ads, but we help a lot. We have all these step-by-step instructions. I answer all the questions about the promotion in our Facebook group. And we have a really great team of support team who also helps all our business partners and with their Facebook ads or Google ads. And I believe that that's not so difficult. By the way, we understand that all of this e-commerce stuff looks quite complicated for beginners. That's why we organize onboarding calls. Now our clients have the opportunity to get free private consultation where our expert explains everything from A to Z and answers all the possible questions. One day I didn't know anything about it, and just in a year I made over $2 million with just one store with the car accessories, and I don't even have a driving license. Like, we knew that there is a problem with long shipping times. That's how we organized our warehouse in California and bought all the winning products that actually were demanded. And then we made the assortment much bigger. And also we decided to help small business in America. Almost anyone can join and become our supplier. If we see that their products are of a high quality and meet the standards. So that's how we help, I don't know, everyone.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a very smart business model and everything like that. And so I've never done like a drop shipping store, and I've always been curious on how they work. I know the whole when they order and everything, but I am just curious to see if I do like a TikTok, would I have to just purchase one of these samples for myself to kind of create content with it, or would I just, because like I said, I always like to try to do organic stuff first to kind of like test it out, or would it be best to just purchase one of the packages so that they can like create the content for me and then me go ahead and post it like on TikTok and stuff?
Well, like the second option is great for people from other parts of the world rather than USA. Yeah. But for you, it would be really much better if you order this product to your place and film just a unique video with the product, with your just in your community. So I believe that would work much better. I actually tried to film some unique videos about my products and make professional pictures of these products too, so I can win the competition. Yeah, sometimes people steal your videos. Yeah, it might happen, but in the very beginning, you win. Yeah, we have marketing materials for each of the products in our catalog. So yeah, and they're free, and we have marketing materials for emails, Pinterest, and Instagram.
Oh, okay, perfect.
With the targeting options, if you would love to promote them with Facebook ads, for example, or Pinterest ads. Maybe you have more questions about our products.
I think I'm good for now because I feel like I have a better idea of what you guys do. And so I'm like really excited to tell my audience because it's just so hard to start a business. And I think like this is such a unique resolution to that. And I really think it's like, I'm excited. I'm like, okay, I want to like start another business. Yeah, no, I really appreciate your time and I really appreciate you answering like my questions.
Thank you. I appreciate your time too. I'm really looking forward to seeing you as a part of our Sellvia ecosystem, as a supplier, as an affiliate, as a business partner. Okay, thank you a lot for your time.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.